What in the bird box is going on now, man? Kelsey! Kelsey! Kelsey's got a gun, allegedly. I think she did it, but that's just me. Anyway, Kelsey basically said she didn't see shit, okay? She didn't see nothing. She said she didn't see Tory with the gun, and she said she lied about everything that she said in September. She said she don't remember nothing from that night. Well, basically, she don't remember nothing about the shooting. Hooked on phonics don't fail me now. Kelsey said she lied to prosecutors when she said, I saw Tory fire the 3 to 5 shots at Megan when we got out the car. That was the first lie. The second lie was, he offered me $1 million and asked to do favors for me if I stayed quiet. That was the second lie. Third lie, Tory punched me. Kelsey was granted immunity. I'm gonna let the lawyer dude explain that to y'all, because I know nothing about court language.
Oh my God. When we walked out of that courtroom just now, every single person was shocked. Every single person was frozen. A lot of people were looking at me like, bro, tell me what is going on. Kelsey took the stand. Before she even started talking, there were fireworks. This started with Kelsey coming in and saying she is invoking her Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and not testify. When someone invokes the Fifth Amendment, they have to be invoking it because if they were to testify, they would be giving testimony that incriminates themselves. She said, I will not testify because I would be giving testimony that I'm incriminating myself. That's what it means when she invoked the Fifth Amendment. Now, the government offered her immunity. They said that we will not prosecute you and use this testimony against you, so please testify. Her lawyer came back and said, well, that's not good enough. I don't want you to just not use her testimony against her. I want you to confirm to me that you will not prosecute her for any crimes arising out of this instance, out of this situation. The prosecutors said, yes, on the record, we will not be charging Kelsey for anything that came out of this incident. And then she testified. I'm going to go over the whole testimony in the next video, but here's the piece that we just left off at lunch. The courtroom is just, I can't even explain the tension. They asked her, at one point, did Tory ever say that I'll shoot you? And she said, I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right, which suggests, they asked her, what's the context? When did he say I'm going to shoot you? She said, I invoked the Fifth, which suggests that the context was Kelsey was doing something, perhaps Meg was also doing something that would incriminate her. That's the context. That's what I get from it. That's my opinion. That's my read of it. For those of you who have been telling me that I'm biased and that there's only one angle to this story and that a man pulled a gun and shot 5 times at another woman and that the prosecutors haven't charged him with attempted murder, but I'm biased. If you believe the story that a man pulled a gun and shot 5 times at another woman, he hasn't been charged with attempted murder, and now you have another woman in the car saying, I plead the Fifth.
Kelsey was still leaving out some details, and we don't know why yet. So we shall find out tomorrow, hopefully.
Direct examination by the prosecution of Kelsey started in the morning. It's still not finished. It's going to continue to tomorrow, and then we'll get cross-examination. Let me catch you up on what happened. Kelsey testified that everything that she had told prosecutors and investigators before, suggesting that Tory had shot at Meg, was a lie. That she did it, why? To protect herself. Why was she protecting herself? She didn't want to incriminate herself. And then there was this back and forth exchange that just kept going on. They were saying the same thing to each other. I don't know why the judge allowed it. The prosecutor's like, why? She's like, to protect myself. Why? To protect yourself from what? And she just kept saying, to protect myself. Finally, they moved on. Prosecutor's story basically comes down to this. They're introducing evidence that Kelsey seems to deny, but then doesn't seem to deny, as far as Tory making offers to say, hey, I'll give you this money when they're in the car and the police are coming up behind them and there's a helicopter overhead. Tory's like, yeah, I'll give you $1 million. Don't say anything. And she's like, I didn't take that. I didn't know what he was talking about. And then there's another meeting that happens later on between Tory and her. And she says, I didn't take any money. But she, at the same time, doesn't deny that offers were made. The other part that prosecutors are using and hanging their hat on are messages after the shooting where Kelsey is communicating with other people, including a key text message where Kelsey says, Tory shot Meg. That was sent to Meg's security guard. For the cross-examination, what I'm looking and expecting for the defense to do is basically pin Kelsey as the shooter. They're going to start with the gunshot residue. They're going to say she's got gunshot residue on her. And then they're going to start pointing out to all, and there are so many, I don't even think you can cover them all, of the inconsistencies in the stories between Meg and Kelsey. One of the biggest inconsistencies that I can't make any sense of is Meg says that she was out of the car alone. Kelsey says, no, we were both out of the car. She said that today in court, we were both out of the car when the shots happened. Kelsey vehemently denied that she saw any type of shooting, and she kind of kept saying that there were just gunshots that went off. She did not admit how. I think a juror is going to go one of two ways. A juror is going to look at this and say she's been paid off, she's lying for Tory, Tory is a criminal mastermind, guilty. I think a juror might look at it and say she's trying to protect herself from incriminating herself about being involved in this shooting. And so she's lying, and maybe she's the shooter, and that's enough for me to say reasonable doubt the prosecution hasn't met their burden. We shall see. This case is not ending anytime soon. Stay tuned.